Good morning, everyone. About 6:30, well, dark 30. Heading off. It's going to be a big day. Some big miles today. Going to summit 2 or 3 mountains. Going to see some animals and wildlife, most likely. And from what I've heard from some people, one in particular who's done the trail a few times, is that this next 50 miles coming up is some of the nicest 50 miles, beauty-wise, on the trail. So I'm really looking forward to it. And going to do a big chunk of that today. So, or, close to half at least. So let's get it going. So I did a little descent there to start the day out. Now the climbing begins. Climbing the first mountain of the day, White Top Mountain. There's a couple of really great viewpoints. And then, of course, the summit itself is not on the trail. So, depending on the other views around there, I mean, you know me, I really like the summit. So, I don't know, it's hard to tell on the map, but a half a mile or a mile mountain road that goes up to the summit. It's not even a trail, so I'd be walking on the road. But it's the second highest mountain in Virginia, so I don't know, it sounds very appetizing to me. See what happens when we get there. I got about 2,000 elevation to go to get to where that road is in about 4 miles. So the climbing begins now, and there's some great viewpoints before then, and what's called a secondary summit of White Top Mountain. I'm not sure what that means. I don't know if it means it's like the second highest, or if it means secondary means an alternative, which means it's as high, or just another summit. I'm not sure. But that one's right on the trail, so there should be some great views from there. And the sun is starting to come out, and it's starting to lighten up the skies a little bit, so should be getting some good views here soon. Looks like a nice pasture or meadow there that I'm going to be going over. Just follow the leaves. And that is not White Top. White Top, I could actually see from my shelter last night, which is 6 or 7 miles from it still, but it has a big tower on top of it. So I guess that's why they have a road that goes to the summit to get to the tower. So depending on what that road looks like, I would love to go up there. I don't want to go too far out. You know me, I always like my side trails and my summits, but this is going to be a really long mile day, so I don't really want to add to it. If it's a half a mile or something, that's one thing, but if it's a mile or two up there and then a mile or two back, I don't know. Well, I just have to wait and see, but I've definitely seen it from the shelter last night with the big tower that I wouldn't mind climbing at. Peaceful morning. About 1,700 feet of elevation so far, 4 miles. Starting to warm up a little, or I'm starting to warm up just from walking straight up this mountain. But just a couple hundred feet of elevation away from the secondary summit of White Top Mountain, which is called Buzzard Rock. It is sunny, with no clouds in the sky. Doesn't look like there's a whole lot of haze. So there should be some really good views today from up atop of the ridge lines and the summits of these mountains. So I'm really looking forward to it. And it's supposed to get up in the 60s, I believe, especially once you start going down Mount Rogers, because then you start losing elevation and it's obviously warmer down lower. So about 5,000 feet in elevation right now up in the air, and a couple hundred feet away from the summit of Buzzard Rock. I am on top of the secondary summit of White Top Mountain. This summit is known as Buzzard Rock. Beautiful 360 views all around on a nice, clear, sunny day. Beautiful. Right up here is where we're next. Going up towards White Top Mountain Summit. Buzzard Rock is in the bag. Terrain here looks completely different with these trees and then the green moss on the rocks. I really like this. It's cool. Shorter trees. So wrapping all the way around White Top Mountain right now with these views over here, just all around as I'm walking on this side of it. I've decided I'm not going to actually go up and summit White Top. It's just too far off the trail on that road, and I have too many miles that I'm wanting to do today. This is going to be the first side trail for a summit that I'm not doing, but that's okay. I got the secondary summit, Buzzard Rock. That was some pretty epic views. And as you can see, I'm seeing some pretty epic views right here, all around. As I'm walking across the side. It is absolutely gorgeous. So I'm going to continue on. Instead of going up that road. If it was a smaller trail, maybe, but it looks like it's about a mile and a half up, and I just have too many miles to add an extra 3 on today. And the most important one is the next summit in about 6 miles, which is Mount Rogers, which is the highest point of Virginia. That is the important one to me, because not only do I obviously want to conquer the summits, but I also want to conquer the highest point of every state at some point as well. And I have several in the bag of that already, but now I'll be adding Virginia's to the bag. So really excited about that. Even though White Top Mountain is the second highest point of Virginia, I would like to do that. I am going to, against my better judgment, pass on that one today and keep going on the trail. Got a little bit of ice here coming down from White Top. It's very scattered, so most of the time you can go around it. Probably water runs down through here. There's been other times where I noticed part of the trail was ice, and then right next to it was a whole section of rocks that had no ice on it, so you could just easily walk on the rocks. So yeah, there's no spikes needed here. Number one is it's close to the highest elevation. Rogers will be about another 400 or 500 higher than where I am right now. But that could have a little ice on it too, just like this. But for the most part, there's not much ice here. As you can see, you got ice right here and a little bit on the edge there. Or you could just come up right here on this rock, which is easily done. I mean, I can't say easy. There's nothing easy. And the same thing here. You got ice on this side of the rock, but not on this side. So just take your time and do it like that. And then here's a little more ice. You just overstep that. So nothing like the Roan Highlands where it's like the whole trail was ice in some points, and then it would disappear and it'd be all snow. So just got to be very careful. Spikes would do you no good, because you would have to take them on and off and put them on for 10 seconds, take them off, put them on for 10 seconds. I mean, it would just be a nuisance here. That would have actually kind of been dangerous in the Roan Highlands, just because it was so bitter cold. You didn't want to stop. If you stopped, it was like 10 times colder. As long as you was moving, you didn't feel it as bad. So there's a time to wear spikes. There's a time to not wear spikes. But then at the end of the day, everybody needs to do what's most comfortable for them and what keeps them the safest. Me stopping and starting would not have been good that day for sure. Today it'd be just pointless because of the fact that, it's not very fun. Here's a little more ice here going down the trail, but as you could see, you could go around the edge there or around the edge here. So either way, you could still get down. Hopefully it doesn't get any worse than that, but if it does, just take my time. So here's the downside of what I was just showing there. As you could see, it's ice all the way down the trail here for, 20, 30 feet. But all I had to do is go over here and around that rock and then down here to the very side of the trail, where there's basically you're walking on rocks to get down it, and then boom, you're just right back to the rock. So just apparently that area has a little bit of running water on it, but as you can see right here, easy way to get down. A little harder when you're holding the camera, but yeah, very, very easy. Just got to take your time. That's the biggest thing to remember when you're out here, especially if there's ice or snow or anything sketchy at all. Just take your time. The slower you go, the more comfortable you are, the more confident you are. Sometimes you can go too slow, just like driving on a freeway. You don't want to drive too slow. It could be dangerous, but slow yourself down and you'll be fine. There are sketchy moments, obviously, where you do need, I don't want to sound like I'm not saying you never need spikes, because there are definitely times you need spikes. There's definitely times you need snowshoes. This is not one of them. And that's why I'm saying what I'm saying. Because like here, you have a little tiny bit of ice and then you have no ice. It's like, why put spikes on for that? Just try to avoid those spots, or if you're on them, walk very slowly and use your poles. That's what your poles are for, is to help you stable yourself and position yourself better. All right, continuing on, there's some meadows coming up, some really cool views and rock formations I've heard, and a lot of pastures and meadows which I'm really looking forward to. And then Mount Rogers, and then the Grayson Highlands. Layer came off, bandana went on. You know what that means. Not just me getting warmed up, but it's getting warm outside. Oh yeah, I'm excited about that. It's supposed to be mid-60s today. When I start coming down from Mount Rogers, it's definitely going to be nice and warm and toasty. Get some nice sun, vitamin D today. Be crossing through the pastures and meadows and ridge lines with that sun. Like spring weather. It's been a minute. It's been pretty chilly lately. Coming down from Roan, when I stayed at Boots Off Campground, it was a little warm down there. Not warm, but at least 50s. And that's really the last time it's been warm. It's been really cold at night, you know, teens and 20. It was probably 25 last night. It didn't feel near as bad as that 15 did a couple days ago. It's still pretty cold though, but not quite as bad. So I'm guessing 25. Still below freezing, still had the slush in the water, but it wasn't completely frozen. But man, it's feeling good now, and I think it's supposed to be like 30s, 40, and then tomorrow, or that's tonight in other words, and then tomorrow I think it's supposed to rain like in the morning, but never cool down. Then it's supposed to be like up to high 60s or 70, and then one of those nights like 40 or like 50 at night, I think it is. Doesn't really cool down that much at night, and then yeah, 70s for a couple days. So I don't know, man. I have a lot of trees I can knock on, but I don't have any other wood. But maybe that was the last big push of cold and winter for the year. Who knows? I'm gonna take whatever is thrown at me, that's for sure. But it feels good to have that sun beating on me, especially since it's gonna be one of those high mile days. Haven't put the bandana on for a minute, but I can tell now I'm going to be sweating here after a little while, so that bandana is there to catch the sweat from rolling into my eyeballs. All right, it's going to be a great day. Let's keep her going. So came across a road coming down, and that road had a pit stop, a pit toilet. Very welcome surprise. So I had a business meeting there. Then I crossed the street, and now I'm on this pasture called a hilltop pasture. I don't know if that's the name of it or just a description of it. This is the view all around. So basically just walking up here, and this is the beginning of the ascent to Mount Rogers. So right over there was the restroom that I used, the pit toilet, and then this sign here says Virginia Highlands Horse Trail, which comes up here, and then this one over here is the Appalachian Trail, which comes up here. Guess what I did? I told you I'd always keep it real. As I was recording that little video clip and showing you everything around and doing my 360, I kept walking, and I walked right onto here instead of turning left. So I was on the horse trail. I went, not very far up, maybe a fifth or a sixth of the trail up, and realized, I'm a little off the trail. I bet I was supposed to turn left right there. I probably missed a sign. while I was doing a video clip, and sure enough I did. So now we're on the right one. Now I'm seeing the white blazes. Now it's all making sense, but we're still walking through a pasture, still the hilltop meadow. So I wouldn't mind seeing a cow. Every pasture I've been through so far, there's been no cows. I like cows. I like hamburgers and steaks and, oh, hold on, milk and cheese and, oh, hold on. I like cows. I really do. Okay, all kidding aside, I really do like cows. I like all animals. But, see, no horses. No horses. Oh well, sometimes you'll have that. Sometimes you'll go straight when you're supposed to go left, or sometimes you go right when you're supposed to go straight. You get the picture. Alright, gotta keep climbing up here and catch up with y'all in a minute. Here's the view on top of the hilltop meadow. All around. That's where I just came down from. Not 100% sure, but I'm almost sure that right there is where the AT goes, and this right here is the summit of Mount Rogers. Now the reason that's so cool to me is because you can see that bare spot right there, and then it's covered by trees up there and on this side as well. The reason that's cool is because for the last day, yesterday and so far today, I just keep in the distance seeing that thing like, there's a bare spot right there next to a summit. And here I think I've been looking at Mount Rogers the whole time and just never knew it. So that's where I'm heading. I'm not sure exactly how the trail does it, but it goes down here somewhere and it comes over and then up, I think. And I could be wrong. But even on the map, it looks like it's in that direction, so it's about 3 miles away, and it looks like it's about 3 miles away, and I know that there's kind of an open spot and then a side trail that goes to the summit, so it all makes sense. But if you've been following me since the PCT, there were so many times I thought I figured out what mountain was which in the Sierras, and I was always wrong. 90% of the time I was wrong, so you never know, but I'm pretty sure that's what that is. But here's the 360 view one more time from the top of this meadow. Pasture with no cows right now. I would think they'd be out. It's nice day, warming up real nicely. Looking down into the valley over there. All right, let's continue on to Mount Rogers. Looks like I'm right, because the trail's been coming here. Right here is the mountain I was talking about. Has the evergreens or pines up on top, and then right over there, you can't see it, but right there where the trees are, that's where that bare patch is. Not bare as an animal, but bare as in no trees. And the trail was going this direction here, and then just turned to start coming this direction to go up into that bare patch. And then from there, I know that it shows on the map that there's a meadow. From there will be where the side trail is going to the summit. So it looks like on the rare occasion that I look at a mountain and can tell that that's the mountain I'm going to, I was right. But just a couple miles away from the summit of Mount Rogers. wasn't expecting to see this right here. Wow. This was supposed to be more towards Grayson Highlands, which is when you come down from Mount Rogers. I was not expecting this right here. Wow. There's 5 of them right there. I don't know if you can see them all. Little wild ponies. Been wild in this area since 1940, from what I understand it. They don't even care that I'm here. So I don't know if you can see this, but the top one here says Mount Rogers Summit. That way. The second one is Appalachian Trail. That way for northbound. I almost want to keep going on the Appalachian Trail. Just because I've already seen the best views. Once you're up there, you're kind of locked in by the evergreens, kind of like back on Unaka Mountain. But you know me. I have to take the summit, the side trail for the summit. I have to put it in the bag. And especially since it is the tallest summit and highest point in the state of Virginia. So to the summit of Mount Rogers we go. So I'm standing on the top of the summit of Mount Rogers. The actual top of that is a boulder, which I just came down off of. There were some other people up there. They are also top summiters. They do the top one in each state, so that's pretty cool. Because that's one big reason I wanted to do this, because it goes on 2 lists. Number 1, in the bag for the trail, but also in the bag for highest point of Virginia. So, Mount Rogers, the highest point of Virginia and the highest point of the Appalachian Trail in Virginia, is in the bag. Look at this terrain change. Beautiful. But more open with trees here and there and a lot more rocks. I love it. I don't know if I'm going that direction or wrapping around it, but it is beautiful. Getting close to Grayson here, Grayson Highlands. I have walked 500 miles and I will walk 500 more. And the first 500 miles on the Appalachian Trail is in the bag. this is that mountain that I pointed out saying, look at that terrain change. Did quite a bit of big boulders there. Nothing that I couldn't walk over, but so this is what that big mountain terrain change looks like up close and personal. Nice to see a change though once in a while. Great views from this rocky top, this rocky hill. Another one over there. Beautiful views in the background. Yeah, this is gorgeous stuff right here. So this is a place called Fat Man Squeeze. You have to come through here to get to the other side on the AT. As you can see, the first half is all ice. I will show you all what it looks like once I get past that ice there in the midsection. So I got through the icy part. It wasn't too bad. It seemed to have a little more traction than I thought it would. And now I'm coming to the second half here. It's called Fat Man Squeeze. I figured I wouldn't be able to have my backpack on, but that doesn't seem to be the case. But since I have this camera, I am going to go sideways over this rock, because that seems to be the squeeze. Right there. All right. Easy peasy. Or maybe that wasn't the squeeze. Maybe this is the squeeze. I don't know. A little more ice here, as you can see, but not too bad. That was fun. That reminds me of what we're going to be going through in Maine. And, oh boy, shouldn't be doing this with my phone. All right, we're good. We're good. All right, I'm going to put it down now because I got to step down on that ice. Be careful. And then it looks like there's no ice after that, so. This reminds me a lot of that section in Maine that we're going to have to go through, squeezing through things and stuff, where it's like a mile an hour. This video today is capturing all kinds of beauty, all around, all types, all kinds of milestones. What a beautiful day. So on yesterday's video, if you watched that, you will remember this, and if you didn't, I'll tell you now. It was a rough day. But not a rough day as far as pain or, you know, not feeling well or anything like that. It was nothing like that. I just, you know, I wasn't feeling it. I wasn't feeling it yesterday. Didn't really feel like walking, I guess. Not motivated. Still push through. Those are the days that really test your strength. Are you just going to give up and, you know, not do a thing? Or are you going to push through to get your goals? So that's who I am. I still push through regardless. I didn't want to just sit there and like, yeah, I'll just set up camp after 3 miles. Keep pushing through. But if you also remember on that video, I said a lot of times when that happens to me, which isn't very often, but they are going to happen sometimes. You're just going to have a day of, eh. And that was yesterday. A lot of times those are followed by epic days. Well, I'm here to tell you, this has been an epic day. Lots of awesome milestones, lots of beautiful scenery, lots of summits, lots of beautiful terrain changes, mid-60s, sun is out. I'm not even done yet. It has just been gorgeous today, and I hope you all are enjoying the views as much as I am. I'm still going. About 15 till 6. I've stopped to eat a lot today because I've been really hungry. But also around Grayson Highlands gets really rocky, and that's definitely slowed me down. You've seen some of that in the video today. And besides that, there's been a lot of trail after, oh man, Mount Roberts that was just really thick, super slippery mud, almost worse than ice. So that also slowed me down a little bit. So my average is a little less than usual today. I think I'm pushing 20 right now. Really was hoping to get to about 30, 29, 30 today to get to a certain shelter, but unless I do some night hiking, that's not going to happen. And I still might do some night hiking. I don't know. There's another shelter on the way, so I'll probably check that one out. It is supposed to rain in the morning, so I would prefer to have a shelter. See this? Lots of roots and rocks. Doesn't exactly help you go super fast. rough on the feet and the back, especially when there's step downs or step ups on the rocks. But anyway, pushing 20 right now. Definitely not my best average, but still a good strong day. An epic day as far as views and things seen and things accomplished. But going to keep going. There's a tent site up here. There's a shelter, several tent sites actually, and then another shelter after that. So I was hoping to get to that next shelter. It's called Hurricane something or another. I was hoping to get to that one, but just have to wait and see if I end up doing the night hiking thing or not. It's going to depend on what that other shelter looks like, to be honest. So I'm going to keep pushing through until then, at least. So right before the tent site I was going to go to and check out on the way to the other shelter, I looked on the map and I realized there was another shelter that's right at the end, the north end of Grace and Highlands. I forgot about it because it's a red marking instead of the normal marking on a map for a shelter. So if you camp in Grace and Highlands, you have to stay in the shelter. So I decided I'm going to stay here. It's 6 o'clock and I went about 20 miles, like I said. So I'm going to set up camp. I come to the shelter from the backside and looky what I see. This little pony is just grazing away. So apparently I have a roommate tonight. Hi. Looks like we're going to be neighbors tonight. Going to eat dinner together. And here comes another one from the other side. Hi, buddy. I don't want to get in your way. Oh, walking right by me. I don't know where the other one just went. Oh, there it is. Well, shucks. I am so glad I'm staying at this shelter now. This is so freaking awesome. And apparently my 3 little pony friends decided they wanted to come over here and hang out with me right next to me. Nibbling what they can below my feet, because that grass and dirt and whatever they nibble on over there is not good enough. They want to be right here. I think I just adopted 3 ponies. I think they know I'm getting ready to eat, or I'm going to start cooking as soon as this is pumped up, and they're just hanging out to see what I'm going to make. This is the coolest thing ever. Wild ponies hanging out at the shelter with Fortune, getting ready to camp for the night. This is awesome.